Tim Flight with us there from the history committee, who is putting together the timeline, and the timeline is available at the town website. There is a link on there, so you can go right there and check that out. And now, Gene, the elephant in the room. You have a building named after you right there in the middle of the slope. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that. How did you get involved in that? Why did they name that after you?
Well, starting back at the time of the World Cup, when we built the buildings, start buildings and finish buildings, and the mountain didn't really want us to have permanent buildings, so they were on just posts, which rotted out, and that building that's there today is the third building that we built.
I see, huh?
And I was very much involved in fundraising and trying to get the building built.
Yeah.
Previous buildings, the two previous buildings.
Were people, as Sugarloafers are very generous, and when they want to build something around here, they'll raise the money to raise the money, and then they'll raise the money to build it and to plan it. Were people as generous and as involved back then?
Oh, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first two buildings were literally physically built by volunteers.
Really?
Completely. The building that's there today is certainly a great amount of the volunteers, but Mountain Cop came through and really helped build the building with a lot of fundraising by the ski club, and
right.
It was a major effort.
The ski club is such a great organization. They do so many different things. As we were watching there, they were just showing some B-roll of Mr. Bruce Miles, who also, he does his share of fundraising too, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He was responsible for the fundraising of the building that's there today. He really did a major job.
He did.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really an asset, and now, of course, we have another generous person from the ski club has purchased a camera, so when the races are there, you can actually watch it on the website. And that's a whole new element. That's pretty cool. It's just like sitting on the porch right there. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's a little better view, maybe. Yeah. And did you tell us about your background? And I know your son Bob he did some racing, and Bruce Miles was his coach, right?
Right.
Yeah. And tell us about racing. What was it like back then?
Well, when I first started, it was a lot of manual labor for just getting the gates.
Right.
We had to sew the flags. We made the bibs. The world has changed.
You drill the holes with a drill like that instead of the power drill? Yeah. But I don't think people realize what it was like, in the early skiing.
Big changes.
Yeah.
The timeline, we need the stories in the timeline to fill in with the dates.
Right. And that leads us right back to the History Committee. This is an ongoing thing. They're looking to fill in the blanks. If you have photos, what else are you looking for? Just stories, as you mentioned?
We're looking for the stories of what it was like living here over a period of time.
And if they do have information, who should they contact, or how should they contact you?
Well, we have an email address that you can get on the town's website.
Mm-hmm.
If there are things that you would like to leave off at the town office,
right,
they'll
drop
get
off there
to us. Wendy is on our committee.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I have to tell you, it's a real pleasure to have you on the program, an honor to have you here. And Tim, thank you, both of you, for the hard work that you do in this. I know this is not a paid position, this is just purely passion, but it's really good history, and it needs to be saved, and the more complete it is, the better it is. And I thank you both. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Greg.
it. And we love having you here. We'd love to have you come on again and give us an update of some of the holes that you filled, if you would.
Well, hopefully we're going to march on with it.
There you go. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment.